Hello, gorgeous. How are you? Well, I'm excited because I'm making a recipe for you today that I think is perfect for tomorrow. Tomorrow is Good Friday, and whether you follow the whole thing about you don't eat meat on Good Friday or not, this is a recipe you're going to want to make anyway. What are we making? Well, we're going into book 4 and we're making the Gourmet Seafood Lasagna. Oh my God, it is such a clever recipe. I don't know who wrote it. Yes, I do. And it's fabulous. I've also got it in the More Cooking for 2, and it just serves 2. So we often make that one, me and Billy, because we love this recipe, and I hope you do too. And as I said, how perfect for Easter. I know, it's fabulous. So I know we've got a lot of ingredients here, but it's not hard to make. Remember, I've said this year is all about simple, easy, fabulous. I've got my wok ready to go, and the oven's preheated to 180 degrees. I've got my lasagna tray over here, and let's check out the ingredients. So what we need is 250 grams of boneless fish fillet, okay? Preferably, if you're not sure, ask them in the deli what's a good one that doesn't mush up. You know, that's a firm, that's the word, a firm fillet of fish. So 250 grams, 250 grams of skinless salmon fillet. You've got 250 grams of prawns, and they are peeled and raw. We've also got 150 grams of calamari rings and 150 grams of scallops. Now, if you find this a little bit, oh my gosh, this is all too much, then all you have to do is go into the deli and get the seafood marinara mix and get a kilo, okay? And it has all this in it. But I like to make it like this because then I get all of them the right amount, because in that marinara mix you might not get many prawns, and I don't want that happening. So there's the seafood base. I know, it's fabulous. We want half a cup of shallots, and I've already chopped them because we've got enough chopping to do today. We're going to use the Kraft Parmesan. I've got 1/2 cups of skim milk, and we're going to make up a cheese sauce using this mix. So 2 sachets of this cheese mix. It's just a beautiful recipe. I hope you make it because it's just wonderful. We're also going to put some garlic in, so you can use fresh if you want, but I'm using my jar. We've got some dried basil, a can of diced tomatoes, no salt added. I've got some grated cheese, the low-fat cheese. You want 75 grams or 3/4 cup of grated cheese. I've got some corn flour here, some cooking spray, and most importantly, we've got our lasagna sheets. So this is the one we're using. It's the large ones, and we're going to use 6, all right? And remember, oven, 180 degrees. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to fire up my wok, and I'm going to start cooking and preparing at the same time, all right? Oh, actually, no. I don't want to use this one. Bill just said, no, wrong spray. That's right, because we're using Neoflam, and this is the right one for that. Oh, my God, that was a silly mistake, Billy. The rice bran spray. Oh, that's the one you want. It's perfect. I'll just leave that over here because I might be using it again. What I'm going to do is I'm going to chop and cook. So what I'm going to start with is the prawns. And I'm just going to quickly cook them off. All the seafood just needs to be just cooked, okay? Got my soapy sink there, I'm feeling good. Now while that's happening, I noticed the calamari are quite big. So I'm going to cut them in half because I think that will work better. So just look at your seafood. Like if you had really big prawns, you might want to cut them in half as well. But it's about spreading the love, and I want to get some nice pieces of my calamari in there, not a big chunk on the fork. The scallops I bought were really small anyway, but I have got bigger scallops. See, look, these are quite little. And I've actually chopped my scallops in half, like the calamari, when they are just too big, all right? So just use common sense. All right. So I'm just waiting for them to cook off. Let's keep chopping here because we've got some seafood going here. Now, if you don't like seafood, I'm sorry, there are other lasagnas you make that I've got. I've actually got 7 lasagnas in my cookbooks. Now, when I'm cutting the salmon, I want it in dice. I'm going to cut that down the middle. Now I've just seen a little bone in there. Look at that. Come on, Woolworths, what's happening here? Now let's see with these prawns. They're nearly ready. Okay, I'm taking the prawns out. I just got a nice little orange colour to it because it's going to cook for a while in the oven, okay, because that's what you need for lasagna. And this is where I'm going to spray it again. Now, you could put it all in one go. I don't like doing that because I like to cook the seafood per what it needs. So these are the ones that cook quickly, is the scallops and the calamari. And that way you're monitoring how long you cook them for. All right, so we're just going to cook them fairly quickly. That's what I say. It's a bit involved in it, but it's actually quite quick to make. So I'm looking at bite-sized pieces of salmon. Remember, get the one that's skinless because you don't want skin in this. And lastly, we've got the fish. Give that another couple of minutes. Now this is actually a frozen piece of fish, so I'm just going to grab some paper towel because I just want to take out, there's a lot of moisture in it when it's defrosted. Look at that water in it. That's better. All right, calamari's done. Let's do the salmon. Look at all these containers. All right, now we're going to dice the fish. Once again, bite size is good. And the fish takes less time to cook than the salmon. So this is why I like to just cook them off individually, just to make it work. Because, I mean, we're spending a bit of money here on this seafood. We want to enjoy it, don't we? And how perfect for Good Friday would this recipe be? My gosh. Let me get rid of all these. We don't need them. Wash my hands. Now the other lasagnas, if you're a lasagna freak like me, love a good lasagna. In book 1, I've got the basic lasagna, you know, with the tomato sauce, the meat. It's fabulous. If you haven't had it, book 1. I've also done it in Cooking for 1 or 2, so you can avoid it. You can enjoy it for 2 people as well, because sometimes a serve 8 is not going to work. Also in that one, in book 1, I've done a vegetable lasagna, which we love. And sometimes I'll make the both, put it out for a function, you know, with people coming over, and you'll be surprised how many people will say, do you know what, I think I like the vegetable lasagna more. I mean, you know, give them options. And that's in book 1 as well as Cooking for 1 or 2. Now there's also a spinach lasagna. Love that. Here we go. Salmon is just looking beautiful. Last one. I mean, it doesn't take much effort to just individually do it. If you're buying the marinara, you probably would just cook it all off. Maybe in half batches. That might be a good idea, hey? Because a kilo's a lot to cook in your wok in one go. Right, do I need this? No, I don't. So getting back to my fabulous lasagnas, we've got the spinach, chicken and spinach lasagna. That's in book 3. That was my mum, God rest her soul. She loved that recipe. I used to make it for her all the time. And that's also in more Cooking for 1 or 2. So this is where I've been clever with reducing the lasagnas down. So for empty nesters, like me and Billy, or, you know, grey nomads, singles, like these books are perfect for you guys. And then also, yes, there's more. I've got potato lasagna. So this is one without the pasta, and instead of the pasta, you've got layers of potato. So that's a really good twist on lasagna. That's in book 5. And also in book 6, I've got chicken and vegetable lasagna. So it's a complete meal. It's beautiful. And in book 7, there's the beef and mushroom. And that's another really awesome one. Okay, that's all done. Actually, what I might do, I'll just leave that there for the minute. I'm just going to chop in the shallots because I should have actually cooked them off with one of the other seafood, but I've just been yakking away here. So I'm just going to cook that for a minute. And while that's cooking, I want to now make the cheese sauce. So let me get my scissors. You need 2 packets. And you want 2 cups of boiled water. One moment, please. And what you do is you will put the powder in and whisk it. And that's your cheese sauce. There we go. There we are. So we want 2 cups. I use a glass measure because with the boiling water, it's better than using the plastic because it can wreck your plastic. All right, so I'm going to throw back in all the seafood. Mix the shallots in. Look at that. What an amazing array. I'm just going to turn that off because I don't want it to cook for the minute. Let me get my little whisk here. So it's not hard. All I've done so far is chop up some shallots and the seafood, right? And then we've cooked it off. Now I'm pouring in 2 packets of the cheese sauce. There we go. And I put the parmesan in here too. Yep, let's do that. So 3 tablespoons of parmesan. 1, 2, 3. Whisk that in. And we're now going to pour it into here. And this is going to be the sauce. Should the parmesan gone in there, Bill? Yeah. Oh, it was 2 tablespoons. Oh, well, it'll be just a bit more fabulous. Oh, dear, Annette. You think I'd know my recipes? I mean, there's hundreds of them. And we make this a lot too, but I tend to make it just for the 2. Look at that. Isn't that just the most beautiful thing you've ever seen? Bring on Good Friday, I say. You rush out now, get your seafood, so you're all ready for tomorrow. You could make it today and it'll be perfect for tomorrow. All right, now what I'm going to do, I'm going to do the corn flour and the milk in a minute because it says to do it early, but I don't think you need to. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make up the tomato sauce. Now what you do with that is you get a can of tomato. Now I'm just at a loss here because I don't mix it, I just mix it up, don't I? Yes, that's right, I'm getting confused. Teaspoon of garlic, because this will cook in the mix. Teaspoon of garlic, and then I want 1/2 teaspoon of basil. So you've got this beautiful sauce that goes on the top. So there we go, don't need that. Garlic, parmesan's done. Where did I put my, oh, here's my garlic lid. I've got to get organised. Did you like my little bunnies? I love any sort of theme. Right, so then, just going to mix this together. Now this goes on the very top and you're going to top it with cheese. That's why I say it's a really clever recipe, I think, because it's a bit fabulous. Yeah? So now we're going to I've got to put corn flour in the milk, and the corn flour is 3 tablespoons. That's where I've gone wrong. Three tablespoons. And whisk. Now I've got to bring this to the boil, so I'm going to actually do this. I'm actually thinking, when does this go in, Billy? I've gone a bit lost. It goes in now, doesn't it? So can I just add it in there? Yes, I can. It all goes in there? Ah, dear. That's what I want to do. Add it in. I apologise for my confusion. And this will give it a beautiful lot of sauce. Whereas normally with a lasagna, it's often tomato based. Yes, you've got that bit of tomato that goes in on the top, which I think really just gives it an extra flavour. But I just think this is just something a little bit gourmet, hence the name. Now I don't want to burn the bottom, so I'm going to make sure I keep stirring. And here is my lasagna dish. There we go. And I'm going to, I have 6 lasagna sheets. So I'm going to put 2 down first, and you do 3 layers. And what you do with this is you use half of this, put it in. We're going to put pasta sheets on the top, the lasagna sheets, then the remaining sauce that goes on, and then the then the lasagna sheet, and then the tomato and the cheese go on. So it's just, it serves 6, or if you want to do it out of more cooking, it is just serves 2. They're both just so wonderful. Now the fat count for this is 11.9, and really what brings it up in fats is the salmon, because everything else, seafood, is very low. And if you, for example, don't like or can't buy, say, the scallops or the calamari, then you could always put mussels in if you liked. I'm not a mussel fan, but you know, you can choose the seafood you like. Just keep it to the quantities that it says in the recipe. Now once this is boiled, we can then start making it up. There we go. Well, it's looking good. Now I've got to guesstimate probably what half of this is. So let's have a look. Oh, look at this. Absolutely magic. All right, it's boiling, so I'm going to turn that off. All right, here we go. So try and sort of get an even distribution of the fabulous seafood. You know, if you see a lot of prawns suddenly together, then maybe move it around a bit. There we go. How is this looking? I think that looks good. I'm just going to put a bit more sauce, because the sauce does make it, and I think as well you like that layer of sauce with a lasagna, don't you? 2 more, and now the rest of this goes on. Oh man, I love it. I love cooking for you so much on a Thursday. Thank you for joining me each week. I love your loyalty. Don't forget to come and find me and have a day with me on the 20th of May. If you wanted to, come live, and I'll be cooking for you, giving you tips on health and well-being, and it'll be at Maroochydore on the 20th of May. It's a full day from 9 till 4, and Billy will be there, won't you, Billy? Yeah. So will Diane. A couple of my kids are coming to help. It's going to be an awesome day. I don't want you to miss it. Let's get rid of this. All right, Mr. Fabulous Lasagna. Now I'm just looking here. There's a little bit of a gap over there. but it's looking a bit awesome. Last 2 sheets. Oh my gosh. Then on goes, let me get a scraper. On goes the tomato sauce. Remember there was basil and garlic in here. We're going to then top this with cheese. Oh, don't be cooking just a boring old piece of fish tomorrow, people. This is what you'll be making for Good Friday and for every Friday maybe from now on. Here we are. And now the cheese. 75 grams or 3/4 of a cup of the reduced fat cheese. Oh, gosh. And now it really wasn't hard to make, was it? I just got a bit confused with it all. Just having one of those days. We all do sometimes, don't we? All right, aluminium foil goes over the top. I might even just give it a quick spray to avoid the cheese from sticking. Now, I'm going to bake this at 180 degrees for 45 minutes with the foil on. All right, so let's open the door. This is 6 generous serves, isn't it? A nice big bowl of salad on the side, and we're living the life. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cook that for 45, going to come and take the foil off, and then cook it for another 15 minutes until the cheese is nicely browned on the top and the pasta's cooked. So how about I clean up my mess here? I am a messy cook, I know, and I'm going to show you the end result shortly. So I'll be back soon. Okay, my oven's beeping at me, so that's time to get the lasagna out. As I said in the recipe, I took the foil off and just left it for the 15 minutes. Woohoo! There it is, bubbling away. My gosh. Now, I'd love to scoop it out and show you, but it's really quite soft at this point. And so my tip for you is if you're making it on the day that you want to have it, let it sit for a good 15 minutes just to let it rest before you start scooping it out. Personally, what I like to do is make it the day before and then just reheat it. It's just fantastic. It's one of those ones, sometimes the recipe is better the next day. Now remember, it's 11.9 grams of fat a serve. It's enough for 6. So you're going to go down the middle and cut there, and you're going to get 6 very generous serves. I suggest a nice big bowl of salad to go with it. And it's just one of those, really, it is a bit gourmet because of all the beautiful seafood in it. So I hope you enjoy for the Easter break. Now, next week, oh no, let's talk about if you want to win. Hello? Do you want to win 2 books today? Because you can, that's right. We're making easy recipes and we're being super generous. So you get both these books. And how do you get it? You like, share, and then in the comments, you're going to do the hashtag Simply2Good. And from that, I'll just pick 3 fabulous people and I will personally sign the books for you. I mean, who knew weight loss could be so deliciously healthy? I mean, this is such an awesome lasagna. Now, next week's show is going to be a recipe I haven't done on the show before. I'm excited because if you've not tried it, you need to. It's my Mexican beef slice. So it's a really clever recipe. I can't wait to show you how to make it next week. I think it's fabulous. It's out of book 7. And it's wonderful. I mean, don't forget, check out the event, you know, the Day with Annette, 20th of May. Want you there, be square. Go to simply2good.com.au for more tips and recipes, or /events if you want to check out my day. Well, thank you very much for joining me. Now, this can be frozen, by the way. So if you're thinking, well, there's only 4 of us at home, you could freeze 2 pieces to have as an easy Friday night dinner. Or remember, it's in the more cooking. It makes 2 serves. So you just got this nice 2-serve lasagna. Very easy to make. But anyway, for now, that's me done. I'll see you next week. Bye now.